Hello there, and these are the vocabulary terms for chapters 1 to 3 from The Great Gatsby. So we will now begin. Affectations. Do not confuse affectations with affections. Okay, it's two totally different things. When someone's doing an affected behavior or affected speech, it's artificial or pretend. So affectations are behaviors or speech that is artificial. Usually it's when you're being pretentious, meaning it's designed to impress somebody, but it's fake. Affectations, okay? They're not genuine. Anemic, if you have low blood sugar, or low iron in your blood, someone might say you are anemic. When someone's anemic, they are lacking power. They have no energy. Very lethargic. No vitality. We know that cataracts are is the medical condition which covers the lens of your eye. You know, it kind of creates a blurred vision. So cataracts, let's just say, would be a medical condition. Causing blurred vision. But we can also use cataracts for a waterfall, like a beautiful waterfall, perhaps in front of a Gold Coast mansion, for example. Corpulent, you see cuerpo here, which means body. A person who is corpulent is plump, heavy. An epigram is a statement. It's usually a kind of witty remark, a clever remark. A witty statement is an epigram. Ben Franklin was filled with little epigrams. He always was issuing them. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Grotesque is odd or unnatural in shape. Something that is weird to the eye could be said to be grotesque in appearance or character. Hauteur. Hauteur is arrogance. Again, tying it into that first word, affectations. When someone is putting on airs, you could say that they are behaving or acting with a certain hauteur, a certain arrogance or haughtiness about them. An innuendo, I think you've heard this before, is an indirect hint. She made some innuendo about why he was not the person she thought he was. Some kind of, usually an innuendo can be derogatory in nature or disparaging. Languidly, just as we saw with anemic, if you're moving languidly, you're moving slowly and sluggishly, like you're plodding along. On the opposite side of that would be levity. Anything that is marked by levity is lightness of mind, joy. When something is fun, it's marked by levity. Peremptory means assertive in manner, leaving no room for anybody to disagree. Peremptory. There's no opportunity for a denial or a refusal. If you're privy to someone's secrets, it means that you are given hidden information. So participating in the knowledge of something secret. You were privy to his stories. As Nick says, when he was a younger man, he was privy to the crazy stories of crazy young men because he was not a judgmental guy. So he was privy to a lot of weird stuff. Something secret or even private. Maybe that'll help you remember it. You know the story, the parable of the prodigal son? Well, prodigality is wastefulness. Like the very, very rich in this novel, they're known for their prodigality. They're known for their lavish spending. If someone has a strident voice, you're saying that they have a very harsh or shrill sounding voice. It's, nails on the blackboard kind of thing. And then lastly, our final two words are subterfuge and supercilious. If someone deals in subterfuges, they're dealing with things that are concealed. A lie or an artifice. You're trying to hide something, right? So you use it in order to hide or escape from something. I think Nick says something about Jordan with regard to that. She must have been dealing in subterfuges when she was even really, really young. And supercilious is an adjective form of the noun hauteur. Supercilious is disdainful, haughty, arrogant, condescending, looking down on people. Okay, so this was a pretty quick list, and those are the terms for chapters 1 to 3 in The Great Gatsby.